I like to get us going here.
Okay, I gotta go.
You can go. Yeah, you can talk whatever you want.
Bye.
Get your order in. All right, who's tweeted out? Welcome.
Sweet.
Everyone who's here.
Hi, it's working. Okay, cool.
Yep, it's working. I don't know what happened, but
You can probably move it down a little bit. You don't need to be at an angle. There we go.
Well, I'm just so high up, so close up.
Yeah, you need to scoot back.
You need to scooch.
You need to scooch. Let's find something to stream in the background.
Don't know. Don't care. Let's talk it over.
Talk it over.
News and
reviews. She-Ra thing is up.
That was fast.
I was gonna watch that.
I
feel like they just announced that, right?
Yeah, that was fast.
Yeah.
I feel like that thing's been in the works then.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, by the way, we're going to announce this now, this secret project they've been working on.
I'm going to put this on. We saw this yesterday, and I was like, I want to see the pretty kitties, and like, this is the perfect way to watch this.
That's fine.
In the background of a podcast. Well,
just kitties.
Paying attention.
All right, just
look
kitties.
At the pretty kitties.
Pause entertainment.
Literally pause.
It's not pause. Okay, but we're just going to. Let's do this. The mute. Yes. And we are good. Hello.
Hello. Hi, welcome to the Media Boat Podcast.
I feel like we're missing a book.
Are we missing a book? I don't know. We had 2 last week, so I did 2 this week.
Alright, it's fine.
Hi, it's the Media Boat Podcast. That made no sense to anyone. But today is November the 14th, 2018.
Book it.
This is episode 149, I believe, this week.
Yes, this is.
148 last week. So that's how math works. It's +1. Plus 1 week.
We're just +1ing now?
Just +1ing.
So that means next week's going to be 150?
That means that next episode, the Thanksgiving Eve edition of, which we may or may not have to reschedule, of the Media Boat Podcast will be episode 150.
Why do we have to reschedule?
I don't know. I mean, I'll be here. Actually, wait, I might not be. We'll talk after the show.
Okay.
But yes, welcome to the Media Boat Podcast. If you don't know what the Media Boat Podcast is, we are your source for news about movies, television, video games, and music, not necessarily in that order, but in some sort of order.
It's an order.
Yeah.
Of the Phoenix.
We have an order.
Of a Phoenix.
My name is Matt. His name is Mike.
I'm Mike. He's Matt.
It's true.
I'm kind of doing a little something on the side right now.
Yeah, you are.
But that does not stop us from rolling with our usual show.
Yeah, we are.
So,
we're rolling.
Speaking of rolling,
yeah.
What movie is rolling in that dough as we talk about the box office?
Yes, we always start with movies, and we always start movies with the box office numbers. And of course, as you just said, something is making money, and we called it.
So what's got that green?
The Grinch is that green. He's pretty green himself. But yes, Illumination's The Grinch. Dr. Seuss's The Grinch. I believe that is the proper name of this movie.
I believe it is. Illumination presents Dr. Seuss's The Grinch.
I don't think it uses the long-form title of
Tyler Perry presents
How the Grinch Christmas or whatever.
It's just The Grinch.
In this case, it is not that. This is just The Grinch. That is your number 1 movie this weekend, debuting at $67 million.
Whoo!
Yeah, it's something. It's not the best.
It's up there.
Illuminations have done. But
it's up there, but yeah, it's not too early for Christmas. I say it's too early.
It might be.
As I've been saying to my doctor constantly,
it's too early.
It's too early. There's still 25 days of November before you get to the 25 days of Christmas.
Yeah, it's too early for that. But
I don't consider it to be Christmas season until Santa Claus comes down.
Yes,
Broadway.
Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Yes.
That is how that works.
That's how you signal Christmas.
You wait until Thanksgiving happens, and then it is Christmas.
Yes.
Anyways, your number 2 movie, not Christmassy at all, Bohemian Rhapsody, continues its run with another $31 million. It's now crossed the $100 million threshold.
All right.
So that's something.
I mean, that's a good first weekend for it, and a kind of on par, half 50% drop second weekend.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Do you note that makes it 2? Count that 2 music movies,
2
crossing
music
the
movies.
$100 million mark.
That's true. Running into number 3, J.J. Abrams' Overlord debuts to just $10 million.
That sounds about right.
J.J.
Abrams did not direct. J.J. Abrams did not write. This is just produced by in the vein of the Cloverfield world. But it's not explicitly said that within any of the trailers, so I don't think anybody got that vibe.
Is this Cloverfield?
This is the field of Cloverfield. Of the clovers. It's like this big, all-encompassing, ethereal thing that you think is there, but you want it to be there, but it's actually not.
Got it. Then running in to number 4, the Nutcracker. That's the Disney Nutcracker. Another $10 million, adding to a measly $35 million total.
Oh, I think we knew this thing was going to bomb.
And lastly, rounding up your top 5, A Star is Born. Clocks in
Still in there. Another
$8 million.
What's that put at? 6 weeks now?
$178 million total so far.
Woo! That's off that $35 million budget.
Yes. That is making buco bucks.
Yes. Good call on whoever decided to produce that thing.
Yeah. That.
You're getting paid.
Bradley Cooper has a hit on his hands.
Yep.
Look forward to more movies by Bradley Cooper. Easily.
Yes, easily. Someone will write him a blank check and say, go at it.
Someone surely will.
And then that movie will definitely be a bomb because he has a blank check and not have rings in.
Yep. By the way, in case if you're wondering about that other debut this week, Girl in the Spider's Web.
Yes, follow-up of the Dragon Tattoo.
Yeah, it only made $7 million, so it's just out of this list.
That thing actually did something?
It did literally just $7 million,
okay.
Which is low. That is not good. All right, coming up this weekend. If you're wondering what movies to see in the cinema before Thanksgiving vacation starts.
What do we have before the Thanksgiving rush?
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Johnny Depp in The Crimes of Grindelwald. Sorry, yes, that's Fantastic Beasts, Crimes of Grindelwald. That is the sequel to Fantastic Beasts.
Where to
find them.
And where to find them.
This is that. If you know what this is, you know you're probably going to see it. If you don't care, you're not. So
I did not see the first one.
Me neither. I have no.
I know it's on HBO. I've been meaning to watch it. I probably will before I see this one.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because this one looks actually interesting rather than running around finding animals.
But Johnny Depp, though, that's the thing that's
he's not the center focus, though. Even though he's the main villain, apparently, he's not the main focus.
He's in the title.
Yeah, but that's just the character.
Okay. Also this week, what is Instant Family?
Instant Family is the comedy starring Marky Mark Wahlberg and that British girl. Who is apparently right here behind the camera. Emily Rossum? No.
Wow, I have no idea.
Emily... not Blunt, the other one. Not only Blunt.
Okay, whoever it is. Yes, some sort of British Emily.
Yes, British Emily who was in a 5-year engagement. That
is the ultimate shrug. I have no information for you.
I'm blanking on her name.
Clearly.
Anyways, they adopt one girl who ends up having 2 other siblings. Mm. So, Instant Family of 3. There
Just
you go.
add water. Instant Family. Then also this week, something called Widows?
Widows.
Yes,
this is the Steve McQueen.
Not that Steve McQueen.
Not that, the other Steve McQueen.
The director Steve McQueen. Him of 12 Years a Slave.
Yes, his film starring Viola Davis and a bunch of other hardcore females in a heist film.
I love a hardcore female.
They are all hardcore females, including Michelle Rodriguez, because she's a hardcore female.
She is the hardcore female.
You can say she is the hardcore female of our generation.
Hardcore.
Anyways, they have to complete the Liam Neeson planned heist because all of their husbands died.
Oh, okay.
Because they were in a crew.
So they're widows. Got it.
But they're also like gonna sting you because they're like widows.
Oh, like Black Widows.
Yes.
Oh, they're okay.
It's layered.
Things are connecting in my brain.
It's layered, and
Synapses are firing.
I like layered stuff.
Okay.
Yes.
I love layered stuff, like a beefy 5-layer burrito. Love layered. All right, that's your new releases this week.
Yes, that looks good. I'm planning on seeing that possibly.
Yep.
Tuesday if I can, because I'm excited for it, and so is my doctor.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Because by the way, I just realized
she
something.
likes Viola Davis.
Earlier, when you said my doctor, I literally thought you were talking about your doctor, and I was really confused.
Oh.
But now, when you said it the second time, I was like, oh, okay. You're not just talking to your doctor about personal stuff. Sorry, I got confused there. Let's move on. That's it for box office. Did you see any movies this week?
No, but
No.
I just realized that I lost the game.
Lost the game.
Yep.
So that means we can safely... I didn't see any movies either, so that means we can safely move on to movie news.
Yep, which means I don't have to pay attention to this. I
Good.
can pay attention to you guys.
Good thing. Our first story is...
Thank you for distracting me.
No problem. Our first story is about Disney, because we have to have a story about Disney every week.
Yes. So,
But this
it's
is
time
the culmination of something we've been following for a while.
It's time to ring in the bells, ring in the chimes.
It's November, which means it's almost
Ding,
the end
ding,
of
ding.
2018. And one of the big things about 2019 that we were promised was the Disney streaming service.
And do we have a name for this thing? Or we still just call it the Disney streaming service?
We no longer have to just call it the Disney streaming service. As
Okay.
Disney has given it the name of Disney Plus.
Right alongside
ESPN Plus.
ESPN Plus.
This
and,
makes sense.
All the other PlayStation Pluses and other Plus Premium.
Yeah, it makes sense. Disney Plus.
I mean,
why muddle up the why confuse your audience by coming up with something weird? Just call it an existing name.
I like Heart Disney. I Heart Disney.
And yeah, that works. Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. It's
perfect.
It's what it is.
It works really well. I think this is a perfect name for the thing. So, what will Disney Plus be, you ask?
I think it's going to be kind of pricey.
That's not a question.
Oh.
You're supposed to ask.
Oh, okay. What will I get for this Disney Plus membership fee?
Well, it will be home for both past titles and original series, which of course it is, including new content from Marvel and Star Wars, as we predicted as well.
Mandalorian, and that's all that's confirmed so far, because that's shooting.
Well, guess what? Here's more.
What else?
They also plan to pull content from Netflix in 2019 and move it all over.
Ooh, are they just going to buy it out then? Because that thing's still contracted.
We'll see.
I think they're going to buy them out.
Marvel confirms Loki, who will still be played by Tom Hiddleston, will get his own original series.
Oh.
That's smart.
Okay, yeah. Fan favorite Tom Hiddleston will be Loki and continue to not die.
Loki.
Loki.
A prequel series to the Star Wars movie Rogue One is also in the can, about character Cassian Andor.
You don't know who that name is.
Diego Luna.
A.K.A. the male lead.
Yes, the male lead from Rogue One.
Yes, not Felicity Jones.
Yeah, the lady. Not the lady.
Yes, not Lady Rogue One, but Man Rogue One.
Yeah. Disney's
so this will obviously be a prequel to Rogue One. For spoiler alert, they kind of die at the end.
Yeah. In case you're wondering,
I am wondering
about Disney's steaks in other streaming services.
Yes, how is Disney grilling those steaks? Are they medium rare?
Yeah, they're delicious.
Okay.
But yes, first thing, so ESPN Plus, in case you're wondering about their sports streaming service, that had a pretty good start to compare it to.
I'm going to call BS on this.
It reached 1 million paid subscribers in 5 months, which
really?
is not terrible. Yeah.
That's actually pretty good for $5. I mean, considering the only place you can really advertise that is on ESPN, and to get people to sign up for the Plus service.
Yeah.
Yeah, to get 1 million people to sign up for anything is kind of impressive at any point.
In case you're wondering about Hulu and what this will change for Disney's stake in Hulu.
Well, because Disney is buying Fox.
Yeah, if you recall, the 21st Century Fox deal, which, by the way, is currently set to be completed by January 1st, will give Disney a controlling stake in Hulu.
Okay. Could that be 60%, right?
Yeah.
30-30?
And also will give Marvel Studios control over the X-Men film franchise. These are all things that were assumed that are now confirmed.
Okay. So we knew they were going to get the X-Men, but the controlling stake in Hulu is the important thing here.
Right. It's kind of the X factor, because do they need Hulu and a Disney Plus?
This is where I was saying that they keep both.
Uh-huh.
And they just run things as normal for Hulu.
Yeah.
And then have all, like, exclusive in-house content.
Put on the Plus.
Put on the Plus.
Put on the Plus. Well, yeah, it'll be an interesting 2019 to see this play out. At least now we kind of know, we have an idea about what to expect.
Is there more on that?
No, that is it for that story. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens as the year kind of plays out.
We're going to talk about Hulu a little bit later, I believe.
Okay.
In the TV section.
In the TV section.
Because it deserves more about TV than it does for Disney.
That's okay. Well, we'll return to that in a bit. But in the meantime, let's talk about a different kind of movie studio. One that's not getting the streaming business.
But it is still an animation studio.
But yes, an animation studio. That's what they are mostly known for. Aardman. The people who brought you the Wallace and Gromit movies and shorts.
The Chicken Run, the Pirates, and Early Man.
Most recently, Early Man.
Next year they're going
Flushed Away.
Yes.
Does anyone remember Flushed Away?
I remember the poster.
I liked Flushed Away. I feel like I was the only person who saw that movie. But yes, the animation studio Aardman is handing over a 75% stake in their business to their 140 employees.
What?
In a bid to protect the company's independence. Aardman Holdings is expected to make sales of £30 million, that's British pounds, this year, and profits of about £2.5 million. On Friday, the company brought out its very first video game, its first major console video game, called 1111 Memories Retold. So I didn't know that was a game studio.
Well, so that's what that was. When you asked me, what is this thing? I was like, I don't know. I think it's a remaster.
Yeah, well,
nope,
that's what this is.
That's not.
So this, in case you're not familiar with this kind of thing, this is actually something I've seen before other companies do, where it's basically like, let's split this up and give the power to our employees, so that way we don't get taken over by a company that's going to put us into the ground.
Now, I've seen this done when companies go public.
Yeah.
But not necessarily if they're being kept private or being kept off the market.
Yeah.
That will be interesting to see how that handles, because the main reason they're doing this is to keep investors at bay by saying, we want to control the power. If you work for us, you will have a say, a voice in how we run our business.
It's good. So regardless, this is good for Aardman, I think. They haven't, no real early word on what the next thing they're working on is.
Yes, there is.
Oh, there is?
Yes.
It's not in the story, so.
Oh, okay. Yes, their next project is another Wallace and... Oh, no, it's Shaun of the Sheep.
Oh, another Shaun of the Sheep movie?
Yes, another Shaun of the Sheep movie called Sheepmageddon? Bomageddon?
Bomageddon?
I think
I hope that's what the name of
I believe it's Bomageddon.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Okay, cool. All right, let's move on. Speaking of European companies, here's another one. Pathé.
Is that how you say that?
I think so, because it usually has an accent on the E.
There is.
I believe it's Pathé.
Yes, not Path.
They're the French company, I believe.
Dutch.
They're Dutch. Dutch company. They're a production company. They've recently, though, fallen on some hard times.
Oh, no. Can I hit it up?
Recently lost 19.2 million euros. That's the equivalent to $22 million in an internet scam that targeted them.
What, is this the prince from Africa? Wire me money, I'll protect you.
Yes, wire me $19.2 million. Details of the scam were contained in an October 31st ruling by the District Court of Amsterdam on a lawsuit against Pathé for unfair dismissal, filed by Edwin Slutter, that's a great last name, Pathé Netherlands' former financial director. Slutter was fired along with Pathé Netherlands' former CEO and managing director Dirtje Meije. Did you just put this in here to see me mispronounce these names?
Yeah.
Okay. Just one every week.
One every week.
Just
to keep you on your toes.
Back in April, after the scam was discovered. In emails apparently sent from the personal account of Pathé CEO Marc Lacan to Meije, asking her to wire up to $19.2 million in 4 tranches. What's a tranche?
They're like bundles, basically.
Okay, I never heard of that.
Yeah, whenever you talk about a huge sum of money at one time, they're
Those
called
are tranches?
It's a tranche.
I learned a word today.
Yeah.
All right, $19.2 million in 4 tranches to the bank account of Towering Stars General Trading LLC in Dubai. Yes, this does sound like one of those emails. Hilarious. Majay was asked to respect the, quote, strictest confidentiality, again, about the transaction and exchange emails solely with Lacan's personal account to ensure that their discussions remain free of any risk of disclosure. The fraud was discovered on March 28th, the day after Majay was asked to transfer money from the cash pool of the French headquarters to the Netherlands to complete the last part of this transaction. This is weird.
This sounds like it's all done by email and no one actually talked on the phone about this. Like, hey, are you sure about all this transfer to Dubai? Like, I know you want a stake in Dubai Media and buy companies, but
no one stopped at any point during this process was like, this sounds weird.
Yeah, no one stopped.
Something about this is strange.
Yeah, not until the very end. It's like, hey, by the way, I did that thing you wanted me to do. It was like, what thing? What money?
Very bizarre.
And then, of course, you get fired from it because you mismanaged $22 million.
Messed up, man. All right.
Yeah, so summing this all up, he's going to have to pay that back.
Yeah.
His salary for the year and a half that it went on.
I guess we'll find out.
In addition to the $22 million. But yeah, definitely check your emails and don't get scammed. Talk to people. Call them up.
Call them up. If you must.
If you must.
All right. Lastly, in movie news, before we move on, Chris McKay. If you recognize that name, that's because he was the director of the Lego Batman movie.
It was kind of good. You like that movie. I like that movie.
It's a fun movie. It's not as good as the Lego movie, but it's fun.
Yeah.
But yes, he has a new project. He will be directing a Johnny Quest movie.
Yes.
Warner Brothers.
Say it as weird as you can.
Johnny Quest. That's a franchise I hadn't thought about in 20 years.
It's also probably one of the last 80s franchises to get rebooted.
Well, to be fair, it's a 60s franchise. It goes back even further.
Yeah.
It was a 1960s cartoon, and then they rebooted it in the 90s.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
Which is the one I'm mostly familiar for. I just remember it had that cool early CG intro where you're moving through like green computer mountains. Anyways, but yeah, Johnny Quest is coming back. This will be based on DC Comics' recent reboot, Future Quest, which is, I guess,
Johnny
takes the
Quest.
Same characters and puts them in the future, I guess.
It puts them in today's world.
Well, that has been a big success. Warner Archives will be releasing the entire Johnny Quest animated collection. I'm guessing that includes both series.
That's both series.
On a Blu-ray for the first time in 2020. So look forward to a lot of Johnny Quest coming.
So that's a Johnny Quest Blu-ray remaster. Possible Johnny Quest live-action film.
Yeah.
In 2020. I can see them doing that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Johnny Quest coming back.
Johnny Quest coming back. My dad will be happy. My dad loves the original.
Do you cast Tom Holland as the lead actor?
No.
Okay, who do you get?
Timothy Chalamet. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
Who's a kid? I'm thinking about kids.
Kids? No, he's not gonna be that young, though.
I guess Timothy Chalamet. I always forget he's older than I think he is.
He's older than you think he is.
He's in his 20s.
Yes.
No, I think you might be right with Tom Holland. No, Tom Holland's even too old, I think.
Well, could have talked about Tom Holland for the Nathan Drake reboot, or movie, film, whatever that gets. Uncharted. As Nathan Drake in Uncharted.
I can see that.
Yeah. But the early words that they want to get a big name actor for the Secret Service agent that follows him around.
Yeah.
Who do you get?
I don't know. Who do you get?
I'm gonna go with Jason Statham, and that's just because Jason Statham movie.
Oh yeah.
So Dave Bautista. I want to go with Dave Bautista.
Yeah, that's not bad. Is this
He's got some comedy chops. Yes, I believe it is.
The food in front of me, is that mine?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't understand that. Thank you.
It's totally yours.
Sorry, we interrupt this podcast for my dinner.
For food. Anyways, you can chow on that because I'm going to move into our next category.
All right, we're talking about TV. We're moving into television, and that means we start in Mike's Sports Corner.
Yeah, we do. And so we start with NFL, and oh boy, Monday Night Football is insane right now. For
Is
those
it?
of you who have not been paying attention to the NFL.
What's been going on in the world of football?
So Ariana Grande is currently telling people to... Not Ariana Grande, sorry.
Oh, shoot. That's right. We totally skipped. Sorry. I got a message that we totally did not cover a huge movie story.
Which one?
We didn't talk about Detective Pikachu.
Oh, no.
We have to stop your football talk for a second.
We
have to talk about Detective Pikachu.
We're not talking about Detective Pikachu.
We have to talk about Detective
We're not talking
Pikachu.
about Pikachu.
Yes, we do.
No.
We have to talk about that trailer.
All right.
A trailer dropped for Detective Pikachu, and at least my little world was changed.
So apparently, the artist who did the real life renderings for Pokemon for the original 150 was actually picked up and one of the lead artists for this upcoming film, Detective Pikachu. But I guess that's not what you want to talk about, because I think what you're referring to is why is Pikachu so furry? Why is
Jigglypuff? Why is Jigglypuff?
Why is Jigglypuff there?
Jigglypuff is literally the balloon Pokemon.
Yes, it should be smooth skin.
I have a problem with this.
Yes, and then there's a lot of, I don't want to call it problems, but I want to definitely say your main actor is definitely a problem, considering that he's a relative unknown interacting with characters that are not there for obvious reasons, and it is blatantly obvious that he's trying to act to air and not anything there.
Sounds like you had problems with this trailer.
I had problems with the trailer.
Okay, do you think that this movie is going to be bad? I want to get your temperature on it, because then I want to talk about my reaction to it.
I would feel it's going to be one of those bad but good movies where you're either going to I'm going to go into it, I'm going to laugh at it, and then also laugh with it, because I feel the writing in this thing is going to be witty and funny at times, but also there's the fact that actual people are interacting with actual Pokemon, and it's not just the original 150 Pokemon, it's all 750 Pokemon, because there were some good ninja shots in there.
Yeah, there were some recent generations.
Yeah, so it was okay, so that's clearly there. They're not going to shy away of, we'll probably introduce stuff later. No, it's just all there. And I like that idea, because we're that far deep into Pokemon now. But at the same time, that's a lot to throw at people.
It's a lot to throw the uninitiated.
Yeah.
But I think that what they're assuming is that
at this point,
kind of person that's going to see this either has a base knowledge about Pokemon, or, bear with me here, they're way into Pokemon Go. That's the thing. Pokemon Go, even though the kind of zeitgeist about it kind of disappeared, I'm still hearing people talk about it literally all the time.
Well,
and
when I said that the Pokemon, when the Super Bowl trailer for Pokemon, for the 20th anniversary premiere, I was like, this is amazing. This looks great. I don't care if this is for Pokemon Go, but turn this into a movie.
Somebody will make this into a film.
So turn this into a movie.
So, I have some reactions about this trailer. Okay, so yes, there's the furry Pokemon, fine. I think it's very interesting conceptually, to me, as someone who's followed the franchise literally since it started.
Yes, I mean, there's literally a book there called Pikachu's Global Adventure.
Yeah, it's fascinating, by the way. But yeah.
Pick it up.
It's an interesting concept to me, because this is the first time we're getting a piece of, actual official Pokemon media that is saying, this is what a Pokemon would look like if it was real. That hasn't happened before. The video games, they do their best to show 3D depictions of Pokemon, but they know that they're still video games.
Yes.
They don't try to be like, oh, this is a realistic Pokemon.
That's Game Freak.
No, it's like they don't need... That's not what this is for. This, however, is the first official interpretation where we're getting official art of what somebody thinks a Pikachu would look like in real life.
Well,
that is fascinating to
me. What, like I said, that guy who did all the artists, his own renderings of Pokemon in real life, they brought him on. Hey, that's as accurate as we think we can get. Mm-hmm. So let's get that guy.
Also, another thing that I thought I had about this trailer when I was watching it, and this is very specific to me. Again, so that this is one of the few things that I can really nerd out about. Pokemon is special to me.
Yes.
To the point where, as I think I brought up on this podcast before, I used to write Pokemon fan fiction. This is a thing that I used to be very embarrassed about, but now I'm like, I don't care. Plenty of people wrote fan fiction.
Yeah, I still do it in my head.
There you go. Anyways,
I'll put it in paper, but it's definitely up in here.
And this movie, one of the reasons why this is so fascinating to me is because I see elements like this is something that somebody would have whipped up in a story 10 years ago if this wasn't already a existing property. Mm-hmm. Like taking Pokemon and imagining real life scenarios besides the ones presented in the television show and the game are literally what those stories are and all have always been about. And so seeing stuff like the kid has posters of Pokemon battles in his room, or seeing random people's Pokemon in the streets and stuff like
flying around.
That is the coolest thing in the world to me, because that reminds me of that vibe that I got when I was writing and reading other people's Pokemon fanfiction. And it's special. It's like something that like triggers something in my brain. So what I'm trying to say is, regardless of the quality of this movie, regardless of whether this thing is actually good, whether the script is any good, I'm glad that it's being made, because this is, like I said, this is triggering something weird in my brain because of my connection to the franchise.
I'm kind of glad
It's cool that it exists.
I'm glad that you brought up that it feels like fanfic.
Yeah.
Because that's definitely the vibe that I got watching it, and that's the kind of vibe I actually don't want in this film.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel like some 10-year-old wrote this 15 years ago, and it's just there.
First of all, I was 15 when I started writing mine. Second of
like
all...
I said, 15 years ago.
Anyways. Nearly at this point.
I know, it's getting there.
Oh boy. Anyways, but yeah.
No, like I said, I don't want this to feel like they threw this together to basically please fans. I want this to be an actual movie that's enjoyable.
And that's where the jury's out.
And that's where
we're going to have to wait until the movie comes out, because I want this to be good.
Yes.
I want this to be a decent movie. Like, if this is our generation's Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
Which it could be.
It could be. But Roger Rabbit is still good to even today.
Oh, yeah, no. But what I'm saying is that thematically it could. What I'm hoping is it's more Roger Rabbit than it is Ready Player One.
Yes.
That's the scary part of that trailer. That trailer is that it could go very Ready Player One.
However, I think this is going to land right in the middle, and it's going to be a Space Jam where it's going to look good. It's going to be fine for the time. You're going to have great memories of it,
but it's terrible.
But it's going to be it's going to be terrible on reflection.
That is an amazing scale. I love that. On one end, Roger Rabbit, and the other end, Ready Player One, and then Space Jam smack dab in the middle.
Yeah.
Love it.
I feel this is going to be Space Jam.
Anyways, sorry. I had to get all of that out, because I've been thinking a lot about Detective Pikachu.
And I know we have not talked about this trailer.
No.
I brought it up to you, but we have not talked about it.
Okay. But yeah, I guess we can give people an idea if they haven't seen.
Yeah.
Basically, Detective Pikachu. Ryan Reynolds is a Pikachu, who I guess presumably used to be a human detective.
According to the Game Boy
video game,
it was a human detective who died, and consciousness was magically, electrically transferred to a nearby Pikachu.
So, there's a kid who presumably can't locate his parents. They're missing.
Yes, and can only talk to Pikachu and communicate.
He is the only one who can understand Pikachu speaking to him. He understands
English.
his Pika Pika as English, as Ryan Reynolds' voice.
Yes.
Everyone else, no. They can only hear a Pikachu voice, which they actually got, what's-her-name? According to the trailer, it looks like they actually got, what's-her-name, the Japanese voice of Pikachu, to do Pikachu voice, which I was surprised by.
I mean, it's Nintendo property.
Because you have to.
Yeah.
That is the canon Pikachu voice, still. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the plot of that movie, at least so far. Yeah. We can tell.
So far.
And then there are explosions and Jigglypuffs.
Yes, there are Jigglypuffs. There are Bulbasaurs.
Yes.
I like the designs of Pokemon, actually. I was talking to people.
I'm not. So
I like them.
Even though I'm poo-pooing it, I'm not turned off.
Yeah.
By their designs, which I thought I would be, but I'm not. I'm just cautiously optimistic that this thing can actually be good.
Mm-hmm.
And therein lies the scope of we have to wait for this thing to actually come out to give it an honest opinion.
So I guess we will find out.
And
all right.
This is like something we have to keep on our list then.
Okay, cool.
On our
That's all I wanted to talk about. We can move away from Detective Pikachu. We couldn't move on without talking about it.
Okay. I tried to.
Anyways.
I tried to.
All right, yes. So let's return back to your sports corner.
Yeah, sports. Sports happened. Is happening. Currently happening. So, Shakira is messing up the NFL.
Okay, so what is Shakira doing?
Okay, so this Monday Night Football was supposed to be played in Mexico City against the LA Rams and the Kansas City Chiefs. Both teams are currently 9-1.
No.
Top three. The only other 9-1 team is the Saints, and the only reason they're 9-1 is because they beat the Rams, who gave them their only loss. Now that I'm done malting about that, so this would be like a top matchup going head to head, possible Super Bowl preview because AFC, NFC, and played in Mexico City, but the field is kind of messed up.
Yeah.
And by kind of messed up, I mean it is literally unplayable on. Apparently this happened back in the middle of October when Shakira performed and completely ruined the field. And
her performance ruined the field and they never cleaned it up? Is that what's going on here?
Yes.
Okay.
And not only did they not clean it up, but they've had other events on the field as well. And they've never had time to properly prepare it. Or not prepare, but repair the damage done. Leaving to players saying they will not play because the field is messed up and they don't want to injure themselves.
Makes sense.
So the NFL, in a mad scramble, officially moved the game from Mexico City back to LA for Monday Night Football.
Wow. So I don't know if I would blame Shakira.
Oh, we can blame Shakira.
I think the blame goes on people responsible for maintaining that field.
No, yeah.
I don't think Shakira is responsible for maintaining that field.
Oh, no, it's not. But she initially ruined it. Granted, this was still a month ago. She initially ruined it.
I think your blame has gone the wrong way.
Oh, no, I'm not. This is not blame on Shakira. This is just saying this is what happened.
Yeah.
That is Shakira's problem.
It's not Shakira's problem.
Right, it's the NFL's problem, which they fixed.
Anyway.
It's Shakira's fault that this is a problem.
It's not Shakira's fault.
Yes. Without Shakira performing there, they would
stop blaming Shakira.
Well, I'm not blaming Shakira anymore.
Shakira did nothing wrong.
Fine. Shakira's hips did the wrong.
Shakira's hips do not lie.
I didn't say they lied. I said they did the wrong.
That's kind of wrong.
To some people they're wrong, like in the right kind of ways.
Anyways. So wrong that they're right?
Yes.
What you're saying?
Anyways, that is happening. The game is officially in LA. Traffic will be horrendous because it's 5 o'clock on a Monday. I had the option to go. Probably not.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah. So now NFL's in a mad dash to basically try and sell the stadium. Or sell tickets to the game.
I was going to say sell the stadium.
Well, sell out the stadium so it doesn't look empty.
Right. I think they can manage. It's Los Angeles after all.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll definitely find people who want to go to a Monday Night Football game. On ESPN.
Yeah.
Watching by Disney.
Disney Plus and stores now.
Disney Plus and ESPN Plus.
All right.
And brought to back up. Okay.
Is that it for that? So what else happened in sports? It looks like you're down here. You have that's it for football, but you do have the Major League Baseball MVP awards.
Yes. The MLB wrap-up finals awards show will take place tomorrow, Thursday night. So unfortunately, we don't have the answer of who's going to be the AL MVP, the NL MVP, Manager of the Year, Coach of the Year, stuff like that. But we do have other awards for the kind of lower divisions.
We do.
Or not lower divisions, but lower awards, not as prestige, I guess.
Yes, including our man Ohtani, who won the American League Rookie.
Yeah, he did.
That is the award that he chooses.
Yes. Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani is your American League Rookie of the Year with 10 wins and 20 home runs.
Yep. And
not since Babe Ruth has something like that happened.
Yeah. And broken something.
One broken arm.
Yeah.
Because Angels pitching staff.
Over on the other side, the National League, Ronald Acuna was your...
Matata.
Ronald Acuna. Yes. He was your National League rookie.
Yeah, I believe he was on the Cleveland Indians.
Okay. Yadier Molina.
Yadier Molina, former catcher of the Angels way back when, like some 15 years ago.
He won the Roberto Clemente Award.
That's basically the Good Sportsmanship Award.
Okay.
It's like the NFL's Man of the Year Award.
Got it.
Yeah.
J.D. Martinez won the American League Hank Aaron Award.
For slugging.
And Christian Yelich won the National League Hank Aaron Award.
For slugging.
Billy Beane won for MLB Executive.
And this is important because this is the first year they're doing this. Executive of the Year.
Okay.
This is the inaugural year of it. Billy Beane wins because Moneyball and Brad Pitt will show up all dressed up to accept the award.
Yep, Brad Pitt will accept. Weirdly enough, Billy Beane will not be there. All right. Moving on to NASCAR. The final 4 drivers in NASCAR are racing for the Monster Energy Series Championship title. That includes Kyle Busch, Martin Truex, Kevin Harvick, and Joey Logano. Just imagine a registered trademark behind each of their names.
Yes. This is the worst thing that could happen.
Why?
Because I hate all these guys.
Hate all this dudes? Who would you want on this list?
My girl, Larson.
There's a girl?
No. So there's a driver called Kyle Larson.
Oh.
But I just ignored the Kyle and put Brie there. So that's the only reason I root for him is Brie Larson.
Brie Larson.
Yes. But yeah, we have Kyle Busch, who wins basically everything, and so everyone hates him.
Yeah.
Martin Truex, who wrecks all the time, but surprisingly is in this.
Okay. Kevin
Harvick, who is the favorite, and Joey Logano, who should not be there. Yeah, there was a race this past weekend in Phoenix to settle who would be the final 4. These are your final 4, and they will race for the Championship Cup in Homestead, Miami. Haha.
Some final 4. I mean, they don't even have, like, Pokemon to battle you.
No. They're
not
elite.
4. Never mind.
They're not elite.
Anyways.
All these guys are looking for their second win, except for Joey Logano, who's looking for his first.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens in the world of NASCAR.
Yeah, and this is a winner-take-all. So what happens is that even though there's 4 people racing for the Cup, they will still have the entire 40 driver field running.
Yeah.
Whoever finishes the highest out of those 4 people will win the Cup. So someone could win the race, but then someone else could win, but not necessarily win the Cup.
Okay.
So and to tell all 4 people, they can wreck, they can do anything, and be like, I'm not going to win, I'm in last, I don't like this guy, screw him over, help my other teammate win. It is going to be insane.
Okay. Well, NASCAR people, look forward to it.
Yes, we will.
All right, let's move on. We're moving out of sports into proper television news.
Okay, so what do we got for first story?
We start up with a sad story. As residents of California well know, the state is enduring a couple of pretty horrendous wildfires.
We're currently in the state of emergency.
Yes, we are. One of which has affected a prestige HBO television show.
Not Game of Thrones.
No, it's Westworld. Unfortunately, the historic western town area at Paramount Ranch in Agora Hills, California, where productions including Westworld have shot, was burned down Friday in the Woolsey fire. HBO said in a statement, Paramount Ranch was one of the locations used during seasons 1 and 2 of Westworld, in addition to the primary location at Melody Ranch in Santa Clarita. Westworld is not currently in production, and as the area has been evacuated, we do not know the extent of the damage to any structures remaining there. Most importantly, our thoughts go out to all those affected by these horrible fires. Ours do as well.
Yep.
It seems pretty bad. A lot of people are being displaced. Apparently, the city of the town of Paradise is basically no more.
Yes. Paradise, California, fire. Not Nevada.
No, Paradise, California.
Paradise, Nevada is basically Las Vegas.
Yeah, it sounds like 80 to 90%, depending on records, say that those houses are burned.
Yep. This Agora Hills ranch, or for Paramount Ranch, was not only home to Westworld, but to a lot of other 80s Western films and 70s Western films. This was the Main Street, if you could say, of the Western films in Hollywood. A mainstay, you could say.
Yeah,
for sure. All burnt down.
For sure. It seems like a go-to, oh, you're shooting a Western? Go here place.
Yep.
Won't be the place anymore. So that's a sad one. Yeah, like I said, we hope that people move quickly about putting out those fires. We hope that the firefighters do a good job. We hope people that are displaced find locations to live.
Yep.
We hope the government helps as much as they can.
We definitely hope so.
And we hope that our president sticks his head elsewhere, because we don't want him to complain about us anymore.
No, apparently our new governor in waiting.
Yes,
is already butting heads with them.
Governor-elect Newsom.
Yes.
Has already said that what his plan is for this. So we'll see.
Yep.
But not a great time to be here in California. But hopefully things will get better.
Yeah. Apparently the air quality from the fire has been so bad.
It's been real bad.
That affected the Monday night game this past week in Santa Clarita. For NFL, or for the Giants against the 49ers. For the upcoming game in LA, the Chiefs at LA Rams, not only will teams be on site for health conditions, but they will. NFL is also graciously giving out tickets to those not only affected by the fires, but those helping out first responders to the fires.
So rough stuff. But we hope everybody affected is okay and figures stuff out. So we'll see what happens. All right, let's move on.
All right, talk about something good.
Let's talk about something, well, I don't know if this is good, but it could be potentially good for people in the international audience.
So remember how we talked about Hulu a little while ago?
Yes, I do. And this story is also about Hulu. Apparently, during a recent earnings call, Disney chairman Bob Iger said the company plans to begin making Hulu available in additional international territories after their purchase of Fox is complete. Currently, the streaming platform is not available in many countries outside the U.S. While licensing agreements may restrict some programs from being offered internationally, no official details about this have been announced. But this would mean that it would basically be treated like Netflix is, and there would be a version of Hulu in all sorts of international areas. So.
And seeing as Disney will become the
de facto owner of Hulu, they'd be able to call this shot.
Yeah. And seeing as they're getting a lot of this in place for their Disney Plus streaming service, I assume that they're basically going, well, if you're going to do it for this, can you do it for this as well?
Help us over here.
So just kind of like piggyback along.
Yeah.
And that's just basically Disney ending up owning the streaming game over Netflix.
It could happen. That's probably what they want to happen.
It's definitely a good way for Hulu to bump those numbers.
Yeah.
And if all the other companies would be like, well, Disney, if you want to go ahead and do that and make us money, go ahead. I mean, if we have to do nothing, we'll just take the money.
Sit here and take the money, exactly.
We'll just sign up on stuff that can get approved. Go ahead. Just show all our stuff. We'll still collect the 30%, 10%, whatever we own checks every month.
Yep. Cool. All right. Well, we'll see what happens with that next year.
Yep.
In the meantime,
this is also planned to help curtail piracy.
Uh-huh.
Although, that's actually, studies have shown that easy access to entertainment has actually helped curtail privacy. Especially HBO Go has been, HBO Now have been, like, leading the charge in that. Because if you have easy access to HBO stuff, premium cable shows, like Game of Thrones, it's actually shown that in studies of piracy actually goes down when you actually have access.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Because if you have access, there's no reason for you to go through illegal channels.
Yep. There's no
Makes
reason
sense.
to do the extra work when you can just, boop, I got it.
Which is what has been my argument for the anti-piracy stuff that's sold like forever, which is make the product good enough and available, and then you won't have a reason to pirate.
Yep.
All right, let's move on. Our next story, speaking of Netflix, is over at Netflix.
Oh, okay, but not actual Netflix. I mean, technically we could go actual Netflix, but this is a Netflix holiday special.
Yes, it is. It's a spin-off of something we briefly talked about last week, but I think we're going to go into more in depth today. We've, of course, been watching The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Ooh.
Yeah, very chilling. We'll talk about, like I said, we'll talk about that a little later.
In a minute.
But first, if you've been watching it, well, you'd be happy to know that they announced a a holiday special.
And that's fast.
Yeah, that was fast. So this will occur after this current set. It will be released on December 14th. It will be called A Midwinter's Tale, and it will revolve around the Church of Nights' annual celebration of the winter solstice. The Sabrina event will drop alongside other Netflix holiday special series and movies slated over the next 6 or so weeks. That slate starts on the 30th of this month of November with Netflix's Great British Baking Show Holidays.
Because even Netflix knows the holidays don't start till after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they know. They know what's up. That's good news. I've enjoyed, we'll talk about it in a second, but I've enjoyed what I've seen of Sabrina so far. Glad we're getting another episode.
But have you enjoyed previous Netflix holiday specials?
Yeah, the BoJack one is good. I liked that's pretty much the only one I've seen, I guess. Think about it.
Did you not watch the, I would say, Sissy Space Act? No.
We watched that Bill Murray.
The Bill Murray, a Very Merry
years
Christmas.
ago.
Yes.
That was like 3 or 4 years ago now.
Yeah, that's the only other one I could think of.
Yeah.
They put the Shrek ones up there, the Puss in Boots stuff.
Sure, but that's not theirs.
No.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that this is a good idea.
Do we watch both the Yule Log?
Oh, yeah.
And the Nick Offerman holiday trip.
Both of those things.
I'll be drinking thing.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to this. This will be a good addition to the current slate of Sabrina episodes that we have.
Yep.
That'd be good.
That'd be good.
All right, we'll talk about that more in a second. But first, let's wrap up our Netflix stories by talking a little bit about other things that they're launching. They had a showcase in Asia where they offered some more culturally significant releases over there.
So, as we talked with Hulu, they're trying to catch up with Netflix, who has a global appearance.
Reach. And here's some examples. Here's a couple of shows. An anime based on the film's Pacific Rim, the Pacific Rim movies. That's smart.
That's smart, and that makes sense because those things did.
They're very anime.
One, they're very anime. Two, they did box office in the Asian markets.
Yes, and also an anime based on Altered Carbon.
I believe that got canceled here.
Yeah, it did. But I remember it having a fan base.
Yes.
So this makes sense. This is probably smart.
Well, the concept is kind of mostly based off Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. That will also be an animated film.
So those two will
series.
Yes. Those two will join 100 new and returning originals across 8 countries in Asia through 2019 as Netflix increases its investment in Asian stories and storytellers. Netflix's first forays into the space included crime thriller Sacred Games, which launched in India, anime series Devilman Crybaby from Japan, and the variety special Busted in Korea in the past year.
And if some of these sound either foreign or, hey, I didn't see that in my Netflix queue.
It's because they weren't in the U.S. Netflix queue.
Yes, they were region specific.
Yes. I do believe we got the Devilman Crybaby.
We did get the Devilman Crybaby.
Because those are words that go together. Anyways, I have no idea what Devilman Crybaby is, but I've heard that said.
I've heard of Devil May Cry.
Yeah, that's a very different thing.
Baby.
And lastly, this isn't really the bits, but I'll call it the bits. We have a little bit of announcement here.
Yes.
Premiere. We have a couple of important premiere dates for shows that we watch.
Yep.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine will have its NBC debut on January 10th. That's coming quickly.
Yes.
So exciting.
Get ready for some holiday runs.
Yeah.
Or holiday promos, I would say.
Holiday runs.
Some holiday promos for Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I want to see Andy Samberg's holiday runs.
And then also prepare to see the annual Halloween heist.
Yes.
In February.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do that.
I don't want them to skip it this year.
Maybe they'll just do a flashback to it.
Yeah.
I think that would make sense. Anyways, so that's exciting. And then also, the one that the rest of the world has been excited for, who aren't me, Game of Thrones finally has a release month at least of April of 2019.
Yes.
That's the final season of Game of Thrones.
They say April. That could also mean April 30th, the last Sunday of the month.
It could, yeah. That's a big month.
Yes. Basically, this is going to be a summer release. Coincide with summer movie release.
Really early summer release.
Well, I say that because it goes to summer movies.
Summer is after Memorial Day.
I know that's what you consider summer, but for the summer movie season, it is the first week of May.
You're a summer movie season. Let's move on.
I am a summer movie season.
That is it for the premieres that we thought were notable. So that means it's time for television thoughts. What have we been watching? Besides Sabrina, what have you been watching? Before we get to that.
Nothing new.
Nothing new?
No. Oh, I have been watching How to Make a Murderer Season 2.
Okay.
I don't believe I talked about that last week.
I don't believe we have.
No. So
I thought they were on Season 3.
2.
Really?
Yes.
I thought there were already 2 seasons.
No, there was only 1 season. So, How to Make a Murderer Season 2. I mean, you can definitely look it up. There's only 2 seasons.
That's true. Okay. Anyways, but yes.
So while the first season focused on the trials and tribulations of the Avery case and how the case went and what resulted in Stephen Avery being in jail, season 2 is more of a docu-series than season 1, which is basically a documentary. And I like it because it's kind of in the vein of the Innocence Project.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Okay.
As a prosecutor goes through the case and does all this extra stuff, all this extra work into trying to determine that Stephen Avery is innocent of this crime. And so, instead of it being like, here's what happens, like, here's what we do, here's what we're doing in order to get this conviction overturned.
Okay, got it. Okay, that's an interesting take.
Yeah, and while it's going through it, it's also like, well, because the prosecutor is trying to recreate the murder, instead of just being a DA, like, here's how this happened, and this is how it couldn't have happened. This prosecutor basically is like, here's how it could have happened. Here's how we got the same results. Here's all the testing that the state did that is clearly wrong or somehow altered from the facts that we got from our own testing. And it's all this extra science work behind the scenes. And it's really interesting in terms of basically the innocence.
Right.
Oh, yeah. It's not through the Innocence Project.
It's not that, but
it's not that.
Yeah,
but it's definitely
similar
in that vein of trying to working a case to free an innocent man.
Okay. Okay, cool. Anything else?
No.
Just football.
Football. John Oliver's been going on.
Right.
I would like to note, I saw this little tidbit, but due to the midterms this past couple of weeks, Stephen Colbert, yes, that's Stephen Colbert, has beaten Jimmy Fallon in the very highly contested sub-50 age range
It
demographic.
seems like he always beats Fallon during political times.
Yep.
People switch. People switch. They want to know what Stephen Colbert has to say.
Yeah, they want to be informed rather than entertained.
It's just fascinating to me that people still associate Stephen Colbert with politics.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I don't know.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of him to cover every single night.
That's true. That's absolutely true. There's plenty to cover in 2018.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else?
Anything else that I have watched on TV?
Yes.
New? No.
Okay, cool. Well, me, so I'm caught up on season 3 of Riverdale now.
Okay. Wait, did that end?
No, it is in the midst of season 3 as
That's
I
what
speak.
I thought.
Tonight is the 5th episode of the season. The last week episode was ridiculous. Here's how ridiculous it was.
How ridiculous is Riverdale?
It was so ridiculous that they did an entire episode where all the characters played their parents in a flashback to the early 90s.
Ugh.
And that's not even the most ridiculous part of it.
They do a flashback?
Within this episode, they also play a tabletop RPG. And they dress up. They LARP. I'm not making any of this up. I know. Riverdale is ridiculous.
This is ridiculous.
It may be as I said after I finished it. That may have been the stupidest episode of television I've ever seen.
Sounds like
but it was hilarious. It's so stupid.
So you're just watching it to laugh at it at this point, then?
You know, it's more complicated than that. It's like, yes, it's funny, and yes, it's ridiculous. But you do actually find yourself getting engaged. Like, I do want to know what happens. It's stupid, and I know it's stupid, but I still want to know.
At least you know it's stupid.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm very aware. But that doesn't make it less good, is I guess what I'm saying.
All right.
I'm a strong believer in something can be stupid but enjoyable. And this is stupid but enjoyable for me.
Okay.
Anyways, so I've caught up on that. The teen tournament on Jeopardy's going on right now.
I was watching it the other night. I was totally owning it.
Started watching Food Network's Holiday Baking Championship.
I have that recorded, yes.
I watched that.
Speaking of the Food Network, I'm also watching the Thanksgiving Baking Championship.
Yes.
All right.
But we need to now talk about the big Netflix release that we've now just about finished. I have one episode left.
I haven't watched. I didn't watch anything.
Okay.
So.
But now this gives us a chance to talk about it a little bit more than we did last week.
I feel we said enough last week. I don't know.
But yeah, I'm almost done with
Chilling
Adventures Sabrina. Almost done.
Wrap up.
But yeah, I guess to wrap up on that, it's like, it got a little bit more ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's not totally taking itself as serious as I thought it would. And it kind of took a turn with a crazy death and not death that happened in one of the episodes.
Well, yeah, because who really dies?
Again, yeah, it's just like Riverdale. Like, it is over the top. And it knows it's over the top. It's just they tonally approach it in different ways. Like, Riverdale tonally approaches it like a stupid teen drama. Sabrina actually approaches it. It's like, no, we're going to take ourselves seriously in this world that we've created. And it's going to be like a horror miniseries. And they do kind of play it straight like that. But they're still very aware of how ridiculous the things that are actually happening in the universe is. But I think it works. Like I said, I'm fascinated to see what they do with this winter special. Because I like it, and I haven't finished it, but from what I understand, it finishes up in a really cool way. So yeah, I enjoy it.
Okay. Does that wrap us up for
I think
TV?
that wraps up television, so let's move right on to cancellations and renewals.
I want to see if there's any TV specials coming up soon.
I mean, probably it's Thanksgiving, so probably you'll have whatever the hell Thanksgiving Charlie Brown special is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This Thanksgiving.
Yep, Thanksgiving's coming.
Yep.
Next week.
The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade is next week.
Next week. I mean, we'll presumably be recording before this happens. So.
Yeah, but just in case. That's next week.
Right. Cancellations and renewals is our next section. Let's talk about cancellations, things that are canceled, and things that are coming back.
All right. Let's talk about things that got canceled.
First thing that got canned was TNT's Good Behavior. It's been canceled after 2 seasons.
Okay, bye-bye TNT.
Reverie on NBC, canceled after just 1 season.
Technically... Wait, is this the one I think is
I don't know.
technically canceled?
Yeah, that's what it says. Canceled after 1 season on NBC.
No, that's the other one
Okay.
I'm thinking of.
USA's The Television Show based on The Purge will get a 2nd season.
So The Purge, season 2.
Yep. ABC's The Kids Are All Right and Splitting Up Together. Those will both get full season purchases over at ABC. So look forward to more episodes of those.
Yep, full season orders.
The CW also got on the full season order train with 3 of its new ones. The reboot of Charmed will be getting a full season. Legacies as well, and All American. All 3 of those will be finishing up their runs. NBC's I Feel Bad will get a 13-episode extension to its first season.
No, that's wrong.
What it says here.
Not extension. It is capped at 13 episodes currently.
They're cutting it, the purchase at 13.
Yes, the purchase
instead
currently
of a full
at
season
13
order.
instead of a full season order.
Okay.
It is not officially canceled.
But they're seeing how the rest of it does.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
It's currently in early purgatory.
You know how they feel about that?
I know how Amy Poehler feels about it.
How does she feel about that?
I mean, she's not in it, but she feels kind of bad about it.
Okay, there it is. All right, good, okay. They feel bad. All right.
I know where you're going.
Try
to pull some teeth there.
Feel bad. All right, speaking of feeling bad, we have to talk about the deaths. Unfortunately. Yes. You knew this was coming.
All right, let's go with the other one first.
Yeah, let's go with the other one first. First up, the voice of HAL 9000 from 2001 Space Odyssey, Douglas Rain, age 90, has passed away.
Yes.
You can't ask him to sing Daisy anymore.
Voice actor, but most notably for HAL 9000.
Yes. But speaking of most notably, unfortunately the most notable death this week was a rough one for a lot of people. The Marvel Universe all cried. Came together and had a cry this week because Stan Lee, father of most of the Marvel superheroes that are known and loved, including Spider-Man, the X-Men, kind of had overseeing of most of the most popular Thor, the most popular of the Marvel canon. And kind of the seen as kind of the godfather, grandfather of the franchise. For
kind of like the grandfather of superhero comic books.
Yeah, superhero comic books. I mean, he has a cameo in every Marvel movie. Still, he was CEO of the company for a long time. And even after he wasn't the CEO, after he stepped down, he was still a consultant role at the studio forever.
Yep. He was instrumental in saving Marvel in the late 90s.
Yeah.
When it was going to be basically going to go under, that's when he sold the rights for a lot of his properties to major studios.
In
order to save his company, in order to save Marvel, in order to obtain or retain it, from it slipping into investors' hands and to shareholders and basically becoming a entity instead of the corporation that it is.
Yeah.
The big Disney buyout was instrumental from him. Getting everything back into the Marvel Studios past 10 years.
Yeah.
And that's just past 10 years, $7 billion. We mentioned... and you mentioned the cameos. For those of you who are worried about the cameos, he actually filmed a couple years ago his cameos for 4 films in advance. And this was back in last year in Thor Ragnarok when he first got sick. So 4 years past, or 4 films past that would have been,
Infinity Wars films.
It would have been Black Panther, Infinity War, both of them actually, because they filmed back to back.
Right.
Ant-Man and Captain Marvel.
So yeah, up until Captain Marvel, still expect to see his cameos. Now they'll be even more bittersweet.
Well, no, you will see it in Infinity War Part 2 is.
That's what I mean, sorry.
Yeah. But no, because that was filmed back to back, he was able to film most of his stuff in Greece, or they already had a plan for it. So they just insert them. Because they're cameos. They're not major parts of the film, but
yeah.
So those of you who worry about that, expect to see an in memoriam, not during Captain Marvel, but probably during Infinity War.
Probably, yeah.
At the end.
I think you're right. But yeah, it's a rough one because of how beloved he was by a lot of people, a lot of fans of the Marvel Universe. He'll definitely be remembered. I mean, I do want to take a moment to say that, yeah, not all of his career was great. He did have a reputation of being a hard person to work for in a lot of cases. Didn't necessarily treat his people who were under him very well. Also, there was, of course, the controversy about the last few months of his life, where there was discussions about people possibly harming him. Yeah. There was discussions about where he lived being unclear. And it was just a disastrous last year of his life. And so to see him, though, now moving to a better place is, I think, the best thing that could have happened. And 95 is a long time to live.
It is.
It's a long, big life full of stuff. And, yeah, and an impact on millions upon millions of people. Not a lot of people can say that about things that they've created, but Stan Lee definitely could. Yeah, I mean, the characters he had a hand in creating have affected people, undeniably. So, yeah, it's a rough one, and he'll be missed. All right, let's move on. I mean, yeah, if there's really nothing else we can say about that.
We could go into more detail, but we also have to keep moving.
We also have to keep moving because this podcast can't be 3,000 hours long.
No.
Let's talk about
music. We're already
music.
halfway through. So let's talk about music.
Yes, music time. We always start music with the Billboard charts, and it happened.
Star is Born?
No, we have a new number one song.
Is it Pentatonic? Oh, a new number one song.
We have a new number one song.
Is it Ariana Grande?
Maroon 5 has been dethroned, yes, by the ponytail herself, Ariana Grande, with her number one single, Thank You Next.
Thank You, Next.
Yes, Thank You Next is your number one song in the world, or the nation now.
In the nation.
Moving to number 2 is Girls Like You by Maroon 5. Number 3, Sicko Mode by Travis Scott. Number 4, Happier by Marshmello and Bastille. And 5, Lucid Dreams by Juice WRLD. Your Billboard 200, your albums chart, topped this week by another debut. Metro Boomin with Not All Heroes Wear Capes.
I don't know who that is.
From what I understand, if you don't like Metro, or something about
Metro Station?
If you don't like Metro, he can shoot you, or something or he will shoot you. I don't know. Anyways, Metro Boomin's Not All Heroes Wear Capes is your number one record this week. A Star is Born soundtrack moves down to number 2. Followed by number 3, the soundtrack of Bohemian Rhapsody, that is credited to Queen.
Yes.
I guess because it's mostly Queen.
It is kind of like Queen's album, the greatest hits.
Number 4, The Last Rocket by Takeoff. And number 5, Scorpion by Drake.
Aw, I made it back. Oh, no Star is Born?
No, I said it was number 2. You were paying attention.
I was not paying attention.
You kind of zoned out there for a second. Anyways, but yeah, that was your top 5. And yes, Ariana is so fucking grateful for her ex.
Yep. Which one?
All of them. Anyways, so that's your Billboard. Coming up this week, here's your new releases.
All right, what am I listening to this week?
I don't know what you're listening to, but here are records that are coming out. First up, Anderson .Paak with Oxnard.
Okay.
City Girls with Girl Code, not the MTV show.
No, not the MTV show.
I liked that show. That was hilarious. John Mellencamp with Other People's Stuff.
Yes, that John Cougar Mellencamp.
No, he's not Cougar anymore.
Aww.
He's just regular John Mellencamp.
Aww.
Little Mix with LM5. Mariah Carey with Caution.
Yes, that Mariah Carey.
New Mariah Carey album. Mumford and Sons.
I mean,
with
that would
Delta.
explain why she's on The Voice.
I mean, among other reasons.
Among other stuff.
But yeah, Mumford and Sons with Delta.
Yes, Mumford.
P.O.D. I didn't realize it was still making music.
Still.
With Circles. Riley Walker with the Lily White Sessions. Smashing Pumpkins with their new record, I guess, with the recently reunited group. Shiny and Oh So Bright, Volume 1.
Yep.
A weird name. And the Good, the Bad, and the Queen with Mary Land. And lastly, that for the previously mentioned Michael Bublé final album called Love.
And now I have a bone to pick for Michael Bublé.
All right, what do you have to say about Bublé?
So you know how we talked about a couple weeks ago, Bublé was going to not tour, not put out an album, going to be just like put out the album and then go and be a dad to his son.
That was the plan.
That was the plan. Until money got involved.
Uh-oh.
Because he's going on tour.
Okay. Not a farewell tour?
Didn't say farewell tour, just a tour for his new album, Love. But yeah, he's going on tour after coming out and saying that he was done. He's not done.
Yeah.
Publicity stunt. Now I have a bone with him.
Oh, well. Anyway.
But that's my two ugly cents.
2 cents.
On the bubble.
On the booble. All right, let's move on. First story in music news is about Neil Young.
How young is he?
Not very. He has again had to tell our president to stop playing his song "Rockin' in the Free World" at his campaign appearances.
Once again, joining that giant train of people.
Yep. He says, quote, "Legally, the president has the right to. However, it goes against his personal wishes."
Well, I think you have to pay for those rights. So.
It's true.
If you pay for them, what can you do?
He added, however, he chose not to listen to my request, just as he chooses not to listen to the many American voices who asked him to stop his constant lies, to stop his petty, nasty name-calling and bullying, to stop pushing his dangerous, vilifying, and hateful rhetoric. Again, that is Neil Young quoting. That is a quote from Neil Young.
Yes.
However, yeah.
However, ditto.
Right. However, ditto. Well, we'll get to ditto later.
Yes, we'll get to dittos later.
Other artists, he has lost his home recently, by the way, to the aforementioned wildfires that are currently devastating northern and southern California. Other artists who have also been affected by the wildfires include Tame Impala's Kevin Parker, who lost gear in Malibu, Miley Cyrus, who lost her home, I don't know why I dared her, and Limp Bizkit's Wes Borland, who lost guitars and other music equipment to the natural disaster.
Yep.
So, yeah.
It's wild, it's big, it's in your face if you're here in California.
Be careful out there.
And then there's also a fire.
Yes, also. All right, next story. Speaking of things, well, I guess
spats.
Things being.
Speaking of spats.
Speaking of spats, yes, they're comfortable pants. I like to wear them.
Yes.
No, not spat. Those kind of spats. Speaking of beef, we get some beef here. Lorde has some beef against Kanye West and Kid Cudi.
Oh.
Lorde took to Instagram to accuse Kanye West and Kid Cudi of stealing the stage idea she had used in her melodrama tour, specifically at last year's Coachella. I watched this performance streaming.
Yes.
And it was really cool. I thought it was really, really awesome what she did with her stage. The 2017 Coachella performance, as well as pictures of West and Cudi's similar levitating platform stage element.
Yeah.
She posted both pictures on Instagram, kind of a compare-contrast kind of thing. It
was not a compare-contrast. It was compare and compare.
That's
there was no contrasting.
Yeah, she pointed out that West copied the floating stage that had become her artistic staple during him and Kid Cudi's performance at Camp Flog Gnaw in Los Angeles back on Sunday. So yeah, this is pretty obvious. I saw the pictures and I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what Lorde did.
Oh no, I saw
complete with the tilting stage and everything, which again I thought was really, really cool.
Yes.
When I saw it for the first time.
Yeah, it's cool if it's an homage. If you throw it out to her, I mean, granted, Lorde did do a couple songs.
Yeah.
I think she did like Heartless when she performed in Chicago.
She has covered Kanye's material in the past. She probably won't anymore.
Yeah.
But back in the day, she probably did. She had, and so yeah, there's some, and there is some like photos of them hanging out together. They were somewhat friends, her and Kanye.
Yeah.
So it makes some sense that they may have discussed things before, but not to the point where he's just completely lifting elements of her stage presence. All right, let's move on then. Out of that kind of beef to some spreading of love. We continue our story about the late Chris Cornell. His community keeps doing a good job of making a tribute to him. I am the highway.
If you didn't realize how big of an impact Chris Cornell was beforehand,
I did.
This should be painfully obvious now by this point.
There will be a tribute at the Forum in Los Angeles in January called "I Am the Highway." It will include performances from members of Soundgarden, Temple of the Dog, Audioslave, Foo Fighters, Metallica, Ryan Adams, and many more. Yes.
Yes.
Members of Ryan Adams.
Members of Ryan Adams. I was gonna say that aside from Ryan Adams, all those other bands are basically somehow in one way or another influenced or involved.
Influenced or involved directly with Chris Cornell.
Yeah.
Tickets will go on sale for this on Friday, November 16th. At 10 o'clock in the morning, Pacific time, and all proceeds will benefit EBMRF, which I believe was the foundation that was formed in his name.
Yeah.
For
early treatment, I guess.
Like early treatment of, I guess,
of suicide.
Symptoms of suicide.
Thoughts.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yep.
All right, let's move on. Our last story in music here. The Songwriters Hall of Fame.
Woo! Hall of Fame graphic coming up.
Yep, they've announced their slate of nominees to be elected for induction at its annual induction and awards gala on June 13th, 2019 in New York City.
All right, who do we got to look forward to?
Songwriter Hall of Fame nominees include Mariah Carey, Missy Elliott, Vince Gill, Dallas Austin, I don't know who that is, Chrissy Hind, and Jimmy Cliff.
So, Dallas Austin.
Yeah, who's Dallas Austin?
Besides
being Texas the person.
Technically, no. He's not country, believe it or not.
Okay.
I thought you would know this because he wrote a bunch of the hits for Boyz II Men and TLC back in the 90s.
I did not know that, but that's great.
Yeah. A lot of R&B stuff he wrote, and
cool.
So, yeah, he's nominated. Also, Missy Elliott is the first black rapper to be nominated.
Cool.
And Mariah Carey.
Wait. I think you meant to say black woman.
Yes.
Rapper to be nominated.
Rapper. Yes, you know.
Not black rapper.
Yes.
Okay. But yeah, jeez.
But yeah,
that's a slate.
I mean, that's definitely like a who's who of who wrote that song.
It'll be really cool to see who gets a nomination there.
Yep.
All right, and to wrap up music, you listened to a couple of things.
I listened to a couple of things. I listened to 2 hours worth of music.
Ooh, boy.
The reason I'm bringing this up is because
both of these albums were long.
One was a deluxe album.
Okay.
One was a super deluxe album.
Oh, lordy. All right, what did you suffer through so I didn't have to?
All right, so I'll go in order from where I listened to them.
Okay.
Because funny enough, both these albums complement each other in the fact that one is actually good and one is actually like not good.
Oh, okay, good.
So first off, we have Imagine the Dragons album.
I can't imagine those dragons.
Imagine those dragons.
Cannot.
So Imagine Dragons album Origins, the deluxe version. This thing is an hour long. And it kind of feels that way at times. But it also is kind of interesting because I see why they call it Origins.
Yeah.
It feels like one of those MTV Unplugged stuff that they do.
Oh, Lord.
Not in the...
Did they do an acoustic record?
No, it's not acoustic.
Okay.
But it definitely feels stripped down of most of like the excess stuff, excess production stuff that they throw into their music.
Right.
It definitely feels a lot more pared down. It's a lot... When I was listening to it, it felt like these are the songs they wrote before they got famous, before they had to make a hit. And so they're like, hey, now that we're a big band, people like our music, let's put all this excess stuff that we have on an album. And it definitely feels like excess B-side stuff.
Okay.
Which is good, because you get more Imagine Dragons. but also not, because it's not hit after hit. These aren't going to be the radio plays. Except for 3 songs. Only 3 songs.
Except for 3 songs.
Well, one is the one that's already out there.
Yeah.
I say that because it's like a 15-song playlist.
Okay.
Or playlist. 15-song album. So, one song is the one that's already out there. Natural.
Sure. Yes, I've heard that. It sounds like an Imagine Dragons song.
It's an Imagine Dragons song. It's out there. That's your hit. Because it's already out there.
Yes.
Another one is that's going to be out there soon that probably won't get radio play, but I'm glad they made it anyways. It's called Zero, and you will hear this if and when you go see Wreck-It Ralph, because it is on the official soundtrack.
Oh boy, okay.
It's called Zero for Wreck-It Ralph. Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Okay.
Coming up next weekend, I believe.
Is that really next week?
I believe that is next weekend
Jesus
for
Christ.
Thanksgiving weekend.
Oh, okay.
So get ready for that.
It's a year.
And lastly, it is called West Coast. And this song sounds like it is a love song to the West Coast, like a love ballad. But it's also like a love song to someone else that you're in love with. And it just definitely feels like a indie song that for like trailer wise.
Wait, are you talking about me personally, or are you just saying in general?
In general,
like someone else they are in love with. Because I thought for a second you were telling me that they wrote a song about Carly Rae Jepsen, and I was like, what? No, that's not what you were saying.
That's not what I say. I'm saying like if you're an indie filmmaker, you're looking for a trailer to portray a song in
Please
your
go to an actual indie artist and not to Imagine Dragons.
Yes. But
if they turn you down.
Yes, but this song is also there for you. And
Lord.
It's good enough. It's good enough compared to like all the other stuff that's on that album. to where
enough.
Well, when you compare these 3 songs to like everything else that's on that album, it's like, okay, I like this 3. Everything else is just like gonna be washed over me and like, okay, I see where you're going for. It all has one cohesive vibe, but that also means that none of them stand out amongst each other.
Okay.
But these 3 songs definitely
stand
out.
Sounds like Imagine Dragons to me. It all kind of sounds like
these 3 songs definitely stand out. Definitely give them a listen.
Okay.
But as for like the rest of the album, it's
it's
an Imagine Dragons album.
All right, then tell me about the other album, then I pretty much know how this is going to go.
Oh, this is the exact opposite of Imagine Dragons, in that this thing is electronified, highly produced, and very clean.
All right, is that the new mic word for 2018?
Yeah,
very clean. We didn't have one this year, so electronified. All right, I like it.
Yes, I'm talking about Muse's new.
Yes, the band Muse.
The band Muse.
The band Muse.
Yes, their new deluxe album.
Did they make? Wait, I'm gonna take a guess here. Did they make another album about how they're about like technology and machines and revolution and there's synths and there's guitars?
Yeah.
Okay. Do they talk about drones?
No, this is not drones.
No, I know it's not the album Drones. I'm just saying, is the subject of drones brought up at least once?
No. But they talk about algorithms.
Surveillance.
No, they talk about algorithms. And
okay, algorithms. All right. Space.
Yeah.
All right. Robots.
No. But I think AI is brought up.
AI. I was going to say AI.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, that sounds like a Muse record. Does it suck?
No, it doesn't.
Aw, man.
It's good. I like it. I did listen to Drones, I remember back when, and it was kind of terrible.
I can't believe they put out a record just
It was kind of terrible. This one is actual Muse album in that it's polished, it's clean. This is basically a producer going, this is how your album's supposed to sound.
Yeah.
This is how a Muse album's supposed to sound. Don't stray from their lane. And they definitely don't.
Okay.
But because they don't stray from it, it's exactly what you think it is.
So this one is for the fans.
It's exactly what you want. It's for the fans.
It's for the fans.
And it's definitely for the fans because this is a deluxe album.
Yeah, they know where their bread is buttered. And they buttered a lot of bread.
They buttered a lot of it because it's an hour 10.
Slathering it on.
This thing's 70 minutes long, so you gotta play for the fans. And is
this their play for streaming?
Something Human.
Oh, that song sucks.
I like it.
That song sucks.
Something Human?
I've heard it and it sucks.
It doesn't suck.
Sucks.
Okay. Well, the rest of the album is harder than that.
Ew. Okay.
It's louder than that. From the first play, you gotta definitely tell the difference. Basically, listening from these two albums back to back, it's like, oh, this sounds like it's made in a studio. This sounds like it was made for the arena.
Okay.
Take a guess which one's which.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. I guess that's that. That's something for the muse heads out there.
So yeah, if you're into the rock scene and want to listen to an album,
the rock scene.
I feel like an old man.
You are an old man.
I feel like an old man when I said that. As that came out of my mouth, I was like, the
if
rock
you like
scene.
That rock music I've been hearing so much about.
Anyway, I think I'm supposed to take that call.
Are you?
I think so.
Too bad.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll call back in 10 minutes here. Let's
back.
wrap it up in 10 minutes.
Anything else?
Did you listen to any other music?
No. This was kind of a down week for me. I was basically just listening to more of what I listened to last week.
Okay, yeah. So I listened to those two albums and kind of didn't listen to any other singles that came out.
Okay. Cool. All right, let's move on then.
Yep.
Let's move out of music into video games, our final segment of the show.
All right, let's kind of go through this kind of quickly.
Yeah,
then.
we will. Because first up, we have our upcoming releases for this week, and it's a big release week. First up, if you've been following Snoop Dogg on Twitter, you'll know that the Spyro Reignited trilogy is out this week.
Wait, is he in it, or is he
there
just...
was a sponsored ad, hashtag ad tweet from Snoop Dogg this week about Spyro.
Is he just, like, really into Spyro?
No, it was an ad, so he was paid. But yes, Spyro Reignited Trilogy is out on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One this week. That is the remakes of Spyro's 1 through 3. Fallout 76.
Do note, as we note earlier in our season here, if you do happen to buy Spyro on disc, you will still need an internet connection in order to play Spyro 2 and 3. It is stated on the box.
Yes.
But I still think that's one of the dumbest things to happen in 2018.
But the bigger one this week, one of two big releases this week.
That's a huge release.
Yeah, it is. Fallout 76, the new Bethesda RPG with MMO elements, out this week on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Battlefield 5, if you're into those multiplayer shooters, out on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Is that World War II related, or is that
is back to modern
day
times? Yes, okay. That is not.
I have not seen a lot of ads for that compared to like Battlefield 4.
No, I know. Isn't that weird? Like if they're putting this out of nowhere.
Yeah.
The word was previously that early projections were not super stellar for this thing. It's kind of coming out in the shadow of Call of Duty right now. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Also this week on PC, The Sims 4 gets an expansion called Get Famous. From what I understand about that is there will be a new career where you can make your sim be an influencer. A social media influencer.
Not only that, but apparently you will also will be enabled a first-person mode.
Oh god.
For The Sims 4.
But if you're
people are already thinking of ways to ruin that for everyone.
But if you're a Switch owner, you'll be happy to know it's Pokemon time.
The season is upon us. Happy holidays.
Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee are finally in stores this week. That is the remake of sorts of the original Red and Blue, except this time in polygonal 3D with a Pokeball peripheral that is sold separately or bundled with the game in retail stores, and multiplayer cooperative elements. So, who knows? I still feel like there's a lot I don't know about this game, and it's coming out literally in 2 days. So,
have you been watching a lot of the trailers?
No, I have not.
Any of the treehouses?
I've been pretty much I haven't been aware of a lot of stuff that's going on here. So it'll be interesting to see how people react to this thing and whether it's something that I should play or not, because I remember when they announced this, I was like, I don't know if I want this or not.
And now it's here.
I'm going to see how things play out. I'm going to hear some reactions from Pokemon fans and the uninitiated alike, see if this is something I actually need to invest money in. And I may or may not play this for next week. We'll see.
Okay.
All right, that is it for new releases. So let's move into video game news.
Speaking of stuff like haven't been able to play, I still have yet to play Red Dead Redemption. It's not been out of Redbox yet, and so therefore I'm not gonna drop $60.
It's sitting right here, and yet I still haven't played it.
You know.
But yeah, so let's move on to video game news.
All right.
Our first story is a follow-up from last week.
A couple weeks ago, actually.
Yeah, we talked about the idea of Microsoft possibly buying Obsidian Studios, our downstairs neighbors.
Well, turns out it actually happened.
We called it. It happened. They officially signed Obsidian Studios and In Exile Games, another similarly struggling RPG studio. Mm-hmm. To exclusive undisclosed amount details. Microsoft had gone from 6 first-party studios to 13 in the span of less than a year, following their announcements of all the studios they bought back at E3.
Yeah.
If they aren't gearing up for Total War next generation, I'm not sure why they'd be so aggressive. Is those your words?
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is smart. This is basically making sure that they have a line of exclusives ready for the next year.
Well, I see this as the Netflix strategy.
Yes.
Give a bunch of creators a bunch of money, and hopefully they'll create something that people will want to watch, want to play.
This is also this is happening at the same time as Microsoft. You don't have this, but this is kind of concurrent. Microsoft announced that the Xbox Game Pass will now be shared with Windows 10 PCs.
Yes.
So that means if you have a Game Pass subscription already on Xbox, you'll be able to play most of those games, if not all, on your PC as well.
And Phil Spector said that he's going to expand... Spencer.
Spector. Phil Spector's a very different dude.
Yes, he is. Phil Spencer is going to expand the...
Wall of sound.
He's going to...
The horns in the back there.
He's going to expand the Windows 10 app game store to be more inclusive and basically not redefine, but retool it so it's more that crossplay that he wants people to have and enjoy.
Yeah. Also, what kind of where I was going with this is that these two stories happening at the same time is interesting because Obsidian and Exile, classically PC developers.
Yep.
So that's maybe plays into that a little bit. All right, moving on. Our next story. If you're a Final Fantasy 15 fan, well, we have an update for you.
Yes, Square Enix is canceling stuff.
Yeah, all sorts of things are happening with the franchise. First of all, 2 years after the game's release, its producer Hajime Tabata will be resigning from his company, Luminous Productions, and, of course, Square Enix proper, as of October 31st, 2018.
Yes, he was the lead director on the DLC content.
He says he has a project that he truly wishes to solidify as his next challenge after Final Fantasy 15, and for that reason he has decided to leave his current position and start his own business in order to achieve that goal.
He's doing the Kojima route.
Yes. So that means that any future downloadable content that has not already been released for Final Fantasy 15 is now canceled.
This is of note because the team that was working on Final Fantasy 15 was the Kingdom Hearts 3 team.
So now they're freed up.
And so for all DLC, it went to this extra studio, meaning nobody at Square Enix was actually working on Final Fantasy DLC.
So now all hands on deck on Kingdom Hearts.
Yes, which got a new trailer released.
And will probably go gold pretty soon here.
Yes, it was a Pooh Bear trailer. They showed off a couple mini games. It's continuing to look fantastic as they polish it up, make everything look nice and neat. And I am overly eager, you can say,
I can tell.
to play this damn game when it finally comes out.
Well, when it comes out next year.
Yes. So I didn't realize it, but I looked ahead because we're close enough to January 29th.
Yeah. The
release date. It is a Tuesday. It is also the Super Bowl weekend.
Wow, you got a busy week that week.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right, let's move on to our next story, which is another follow-up from Nintendo.
So don't be surprised there's like a Super Bowl trailer.
Yeah.
Probably not, but because the game will be out by then, but you know.
We'll see.
We'll see.
All right, next up, follow-up on our story about Nintendo about their case of ROM sites.
Yeah, so we reported about 6 months ago, I want to say.
Yes.
That Nintendo had sued some ROM sites.
A popular ROM site.
A couple. ROM sites, and they immediately took down their content.
Well, here's kind of a follow-up story about one of those owners of said ROM sites, Jacob Mathias. So Jacob Mathias and his wife have agreed to a consent judgment and a permanent injunction that will resolve all outstanding disputes with Nintendo. They admit that their involvement with the websites constituted direct and indirect copyright and trademark infringement, which caused Nintendo irreparable injury. However, on paper, they actually agreed to a judgment that exceeds $12 million. Nintendo negotiated such a high number on paper to act as a deterrent for other site operators. In practice, the defendants could end up paying much less than 12.
And they most likely will.
Yeah.
This is one of those big numbers they throw out.
To just see, to be like, hey, this could be you.
Yes, you could be the next one. But in terms of actually collecting on it, they most likely will not going to collect.
They won't need that much.
They don't need that much. I mean, they're Nintendo.
They're Nintendo.
It's the lawsuit to deter other people from being it, and also, if you continue to practice it, we'll go after you, and you will have to pay some $1 million fine for it.
Yes. All right, moving on to our last story in video games here before we wrap up. Story about Steam and its possible bugs in the system. Artem Makowski, a self-described bug hunter, came across a glitch in Steam that allowed him to generate thousands of free keys for any game he wanted on Steam. Makowski discovered and reported the bug back in August, but Valve only allowed the information to go public recently. For his troubles, the company paid him 15,000 British pounds.
Yeah, she
as
got
opposed
free
to a
games.
lifetime of free games.
She got free games out of it.
Yeah, still got free games. In short, the bug took advantage of an issue with Steam's developer tools. Using specific parameters, anyone with access to those tools could have made the service spit out keys for games that didn't belong to them, just like he did.
Yeah, he was able to get Portal 2 keys to the tune of, 42.
Yeah, God.
To which, someone could, take those keys and basically sell them.
Right.
Because they're afraid of him and make money off of it.
Yeah.
But, he actually, remember, back in March or April, we talked about a different bug this team had?
Right, yeah.
Same guy.
Same dude.
He's
the bug hunter.
He's the bug hunter. So he got a couple nice, cool payday out of that as well.
Nice.
I'm surprised Valve doesn't just pay
I'm surprised they just don't hire the dude and put him on the security team.
Yeah.
Alright, that does it for video game news. Did you play any video games this week?
I played the FIFA story mode.
Oh, yeah, you did. Now, this is kind of an older game, so we don't have to go too into depth here, but you've been playing FIFA 19.
Yeah, I played FIFA 19. I played the story mode. It divides the story into 3 parts, or 3 different players.
Yeah.
2 of them are guys, one is girls. The guys are in the European League, chasing after that fancy Euro trophy. Meanwhile, the girl
is none other than...
a PC player.
Yeah.
Yeah, just an NPC person.
Oh, okay.
Well, not NPC, but create a character person. However,
but
you get to play and be mentors with one Alex Morgan.
Oh boy! I bet you were excited when you found that out.
Oh, when I found that out, I screwed the other 2 stories.
I'm sorry, you did what?
I kind of bypassed the other 2 stories.
There we go. All right.
And solely focused on the making the women's team.
You focused on it.
Yes, because
how much you focus?
You play as a 16-year-old girl on the.
I do not.
Yes, you play as a 16-year-old girl on the U.S. national team, and you get to work your way to be best friends
with Alex
Morgan to where she is your mentor.
Aww, that's cute.
Not only is she your mentor, but you get to build that relationship up to where you basically become in sync.
Yeah, you do.
And
Lance Bass, JC Chazet.
Yep, JT.
Chris Kirkpatrick.
Is that it?
Joey Fat
One. Yep.
Come in sync.
Yep. Come in sync with Alex Morgan.
Yes. In sync with featuring.
Yes. Also, for the guys, you get your mentors with any of the players on their teams that you decide to choose from.
Okay.
So, you could be mentors with Ronaldo and Juventus and all the other fancy
soccer
players.
people.
Soccer people.
Soccer men.
So, it's fun. I like it. It's a continuation of the previous story. Did not play the previous story, but apparently you do not need to play it in order to continue.
Okay.
That's all I played.
Right. I didn't play anything. I played a little bit of Soul Calibur 2. I downloaded the season pass a while ago.
You did buy it?
And so I've been playing a lot of Tira.
Yeah, of course you did.
But other than that, still working through story mode on that game.
Okay.
Haven't even gotten to the point where I'm done with all the story stuff, so I can finally check out the museum and arcade mode and stuff. That game is enormous. I'm not even close to seeing all of it yet. I'm so happy I bought it. All right, but yeah, that's it for video games I played, which means that's it for the Media Boat Podcast.
That's it for us. We're done. All right, plug away.
Let's wrap this up. If you like what you saw here, we're live every Wednesday night now at 6 p.m. or 6:15-ish, depending. Yeah. We'll go live on our social media channels to let you know when we are on. But yes, if you want to see us live, that will be Wednesday nights on YouTube. Just search our YouTube for our channel, Media Boat Podcast, and you'll find us. Subscribe so that way you get notifications when we're live. You can also hear the audio version of our podcast as well. That will be found on Apple Podcasts or any podcast catcher of your choice. Just search Media Boat Podcast and you'll find our voices on there. On social media, we're on Twitter at Media Boatcast. We're on Facebook at Media Boat Podcast. Just search that. We're on twitch.tv/MediaBoat when we're playing video games and streaming them. And we're on Patreon if you want to help us out with money. As little as $1 a month can help us out. That's over at patreon.com/MediaBoat. Lastly, if you want to see some of our writing, you can see it on MediaBoatPodcast.com, our website, where we have an archive of everything that we've written for the podcast on there. That will do it then for this episode of Media Boat Podcast.
That'll wrap us up.
We'll be back next week for Thanksgiving Feast edition.
We'll be so
thankful
and so feasty.
Thankful, so fucking thankful for our ex.
X?
Thank you next.
Thank you next. Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, that'll do it. We'll be back next week.
Thank you all for listening.
Peace out.
We'll be back next week for more news and thoughts and reviews.
Bye.
Okay, bye. You clapped on the way for it. All right. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Bye-bye.